take a look at this problem. We got 2x squared minus 18x equals negative 3x squared minus 16. Now we want to use the zero factor property, but zero factor property says we have to have 0 on one side. So we're going to move everything over to the left side. The reason why is I want the number that's in front of my x squared to be positive. That's why I chose that direction. So I'll take the negative 3x squared over, and it becomes a positive 3x squared minus 18x, and take negative 16 over and becomes a positive 16. Notice as I rearrange these, I put these in standard form. Combine together like terms at any step. 2x squared plus 3x squared is 5x squared minus 18x plus 16 equal to 0. It does work out best if you have it in standard form when you're factoring. Okay, so we got 0 on that side. Now we need to factor the other side. First method is GCF, there isn't any. Groupings 4 more terms, that doesn't fit. PST's close, but there's a number in front of the x squared. This one is key number. Key number is whenever you have x squared, x, no x, and there's a number in front of your x squared. Now with key number, we're going to take the number at the beginning times the number at the end, ignoring signs. So we'll take the 5 times the 16. And that's going to give us 80. And then we'll come up with our 3 columns. The P column, where we list all products, give us 80. We got 1 times 80, 2 times 40, 4 times 20, 5 times 16, 6 no, 7 no, 8 times 10. The S column, S for sum, we want to add these together. 1 plus 80 is 81, 2 plus 40 is 42, 4 plus 20 is 24, 5 plus 16 is 21, 8 plus 10 is 18. The difference column, D for difference, subtract smaller from larger. 80 minus 1 is 79, 40 minus 2 is 38, 20 minus 4 is 16, 16 minus 5 is 11, 10 minus 8 is 2. Now the number we're looking for is a number in our middle term, which is an 18, which is right here, which means we use 8 and 10. Now remember, we're going to rewrite our middle term using those two numbers. The larger number that we're using 8 and 10, so a larger one is a 10, will always be the same sign as the middle term, which was negative. So we got negative 10x. The number we circled is in the S column, S for same signs, both positive, both negative. So if the 10 is negative, then the 8 has to be negative. Then we want to factor by grouping. So group first 2 terms together, group last 2 terms together. The GCF of the first group, they both have a 5 and an x in common. And that gives us x minus 2. For my second group, they're both divisible by 8, and my first term is negative. Remember your note on your GCF. It says if your first term is negative, you always factor out a negative. So factor out a negative 8, which gives us x minus 2. Now our goal was to get this parentheses the same as this one, which they are. So I'll factor out an x minus 2. And to see what goes in your second set of parentheses, you can come up this previous line and cross out the x minus 2's. And what isn't crossed out is what goes here, which would be your 5x minus 8. Okay, zero factor property. You get 0 on one side, you factor the other side, you set each factor equal to 0. So we'll set x minus 2 equal to 0, and we'll set 5x minus 8 equal to 0. Now these are linear equations at this point, and we'll go through our 4 steps for that. First step, get rid of parentheses, don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions, don't have any. Third step, get everything with an x on one side and numbers on the other. So I'll take negative 2 over, and it becomes a positive 2. And that's our first answer, x equals 2. Now we solve the other linear equation. Get rid of parentheses, don't have any. Get rid of fractions, don't have any. Third step, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. So I take negative 8 over. You take anything across or equals, your sign changes, so negative 8 becomes a positive 8. Last step, divide both sides by a number in front of your x. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. And we got x is equal to 8/5. And those would be our 2 answers.